Good morning, everybody. It is 6:30 in the morning. It's December the 5th. Guys, I've got a bunch of earthquakes to go over. I'm going to go over them as quickly as possible, okay? There was a 5.2 south of Loyalty Island at 6.2 miles in depth. That was the EMSC app. 5.3 east-southeast of New Caledonia, and that was at 6.2 miles in depth. There was a 5.1 southeast Loyalty Island at 6.2 miles in depth. There was a 4.1 Tangistan at 11 miles in depth. That was the EMSC app reported that. There was a 3.4 Chile, and that was on the New Zealand Earthquake Center, and that was at 12 miles in depth. There was a 3.0 New Zealand at 57 miles in depth, and that was also the New Zealand Earthquake Center. There was a 4.1 Fiji Island at 336 miles in depth. That was from the GFZ app. All right, these are all from the EMSC. There was a 4.5 Indonesia at 120 miles in depth, a 4.9 Indonesia at 6.1 miles in depth, a 4.9 New Caledonia at 6.1 miles in depth. There was a 5.1 Tonga at 154 miles in depth, GFZ app, a 4.8 South Sandwich Islands at 61 miles in depth, a 4.9 New Caledonia at 61 miles in depth, a 5.1 south of Loyalty Island at 6.7 miles in depth, a 4.1 Chile, 14 miles in depth. That was the Chile Earthquake Center, a 4.4 New Caledonia at 6.2 miles in depth, a 4.7 South Fiji Island at 318 miles in depth, GFZ app. These two came across the Venezuelan Earthquake Center, a 4.9 at 6.2 miles in depth, and a 4.7 Venezuela at 1.2 miles in depth. There was 5.2 Loyalty Island, 6.2 miles in depth, EMSC app, a 5.0 Southeast Loyalty Island at 6.2 miles in depth, a 5.1 Philippine Islands at 4.7 miles in depth, a 5.0 New Caledonia, which was raised to a 5.2 New Caledonia by USGS at 6.2 miles in depth, a 4.4 Mamasa at 6.2 miles in depth, the BMK GAP, a 4.6 Indonesia at 6.2 miles in depth, a 5.0 Southeast Loyalty Island upgraded to a 5.2 USGS, and that was at 6.2 miles in depth. There was a 5.1 EMSC app at 6.2 miles in depth, and that's Southeast New Caledonia. Done. All right, guys, they're coming across so fast. One came across when I started this. Let's see what it is. That was a 4.0 Indonesia, 6.2 miles in depth. All right, guys, that's what I have for right now. I have been up most of the night anyway. This thing has been going off. I will do another report as soon as I get maybe 7 or 8, maybe 9. There was a lot to report. I do want to go back over the 7.0 that happened last night. Okay, USGS said it was a 7.0, and then they changed their mind like 2 minutes later, if that. But I went and checked the tsunami warning system. The tsunami warning system said it was 7.0, and there was tsunami warnings out. This was the second 7-pointer we had that happened last night. This was around 2:30 in the morning. And I put it in the apps that said it was a 7.0. Anyway, God bless you guys. Thank you for watching. You guys are awesome. Please have a safe day. 2 thumbs up for you guys.